What's up, guys? Welcome back to another semi-live. We are in North Dakota, and we've had several requests for kind of a cribs on our camp here in North Dakota. We call it Camp Dinkota, so we're going to run through it today, show you guys exactly what we're staying in out here, and I think we're going on. We built this thing in 2017, but essentially Dylan and Ryan had a lease in Wisconsin for several years, and the lease came to an end, and the property ended up selling. So they had a camper down on their lease, and what we did here, the camper was kind of rough shape, but the frame was really good shape. And Ryan and Dylan knocked the camper off the frame, and we pre-assembled what is now Camp Dinkota. Ryan and his dad are the brains behind everything. They pre-assembled this in Wisconsin, laid all the walls down, drug it up here to North Dakota, and now we have Camp Dinkota. Kind of a little backstory on where this thing sits. Years ago, probably 10 or 11 years ago, Mike and I were hunting out in North Dakota and just ran into some people at a gas station, and one thing led to another. Sure enough, they gave us hunting permission. After a few years of building a friendship with them, we are now able to park this thing right on their property. Got eyes on it all the time. It is just absolutely wonderful. There's good people in the world, and they are right at the top of that list. So let's take a look at this thing. So down low, you can see the tires. They're jacked up off the ground. So when we brought this thing out here, like I said, Ryan and his dad pre-assembled this thing. They built it. His dad is very talented. Ryan's very talented. And they kind of had this whole plan together, pre-assembled all the walls, and then they collapsed it back down flat on the trailer and pulled it up here behind the truck. So this is, I think the outside's 20 by 10 roughly, and then we have a pitched roof and a loft inside, which we'll show you when we get on inside. But if worse comes to worse, if this property ever sells, or for whatever reason we need to move it, it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's something that we can do. So yeah, let's take a look on the inside. I guess walking around, I think it was the first year, maybe 2 years, we just had cheap wooden steps up into because this thing is up off the ground probably, I'd say 3 feet roughly. And we just had wooden steps going straight up to the door. We noticed over time that we needed a little deck space out here just for storing stuff, organizing stuff. So now we have a deck. Brandon and Ryan built that. It turned out great. We used to have a sign on the front of it, but we just put a heavy coat, dark stain on this here, and it kind of covered that up. But out on the deck, we got a chest freezer. Compliments of JP. He shot a velvet buck. It was either 18 or 19. He shot a velvet buck, and we were in a pinch for freezer space, so he ran to the closest town and bought a chest freezer. So now that is our meat storage. If somebody shoots a deer, we're easily able to quarter it up and get it cold right away. Up here, we have our hanging branch. This is where we hang our deer, and it works out great. You can back the truck right up below this thing, throw the rope up over that limb, tie the gambrel off on that tree right there, and you're good to go. We've got the thermometer. Is that what it's called? A thermometer? Right?
I think so.
We got a thermometer on the tree over there. What the crazy thing about that is, we'll come out here early season, that thermometer could get up to 90 degrees. You come out here late season, we've seen it break negative 40. It's absolutely insane to watch that thing throughout the different times of the year that we're out here. North Dakota is one of those places that the weather is just, it can be crazy either direction. And it's kind of cool to have a place to stay and stay comfortable no matter what the weather's like. Alright, welcome inside. We are going to just start at this end of the room and work around and show you guys everything in here. So you come in the door, and right to the left is where we like to organize all of our camera gear. We've got a couple different plug-in options up here because when we got, you know, a full house of people in here, we got a lot of cameras, a lot of batteries that need charging. So we kind of designate this shelf area here to camera bodies, camera lenses, chargers, and batteries. It kind of keeps everything else away from the other end of the shack. And essentially what we're looking at here is, like I said, about 10 feet across and approximately 20 feet this way. And moving around the room, well, this buck right here is actually a buck that Dylan is, I believe this is his dad's last buck. And when they, I guess I should go back a little further how this kind of got named. So when those guys had their lease in Wisconsin, they called their trailer the Dinky. So when it got moved up here and we built this on top of the frame, it came to Dinkota. So that was, I believe, Dylan's dad's last buck, and it's kind of just stayed with the place, which is very cool. And then up here, this is kind of our note board, if you will. It's just got all the spots that we hunt. The last time we were in there checking cameras, whatever. If we got shooters showing up on camera, we kind of keep track of them here. You know, if we need a stand in there, if we need a blind in there or whatever, kind of write that in the note section. And then what we think the best wind to hunt each spot, we kind of write that down. I'm a visual person. I like to be able to look up here, see what our options are for hunting, and make a decision from there. Down below we got a tack board. Just some of the shooters that we've got on camera right now. Those obviously change from year to year. But moving this way, Mike and I splurged and bought us a nice fireplace. I think we got it at Menards for, it was on clearance for probably $250 or something like that. And believe it or not, this thing will keep this place warm in the winter. We've got a couple smaller space heaters I can show you real quick. When it's super cold out here, it's not uncommon to walk through this door, and we do have another thermometer right up by the door there. Kind of gives us an idea of what the temp is in here. But it's not uncommon to walk in here in December and it, honest to God, being 25 to 30 below zero. So when that's the case, this fireplace is kind of cold-blooded, doesn't always want to fire up right away. We'll plug these space heaters in and kind of get it somewhat warm, and then usually the fireplace will kick in. Once the fireplace kicks in, you can get it to 70 no problem in here. Back to the fireplace. So we got the fireplace, runs on a nice classy remote, real sweet ambiance. It's awesome. Got a TV, DVD player, got a big sleeve of DVDs. I would say 50% or more are hunting DVDs, Drury's, Real Tree, you name it. We've got tons of hunting DVDs. We've watched them all probably 10 times. And then we got a bunch of comedy stuff too. But up above here is the Camp Dinkota sign. This is actually a wedding gift that one of Dylan's good buddies built him and gave to him at his wedding, which is badass. It's turned into our broadhead board. So I think he must have been gifted, I'm trying to see the oldest date. It's looking like 17. So the year we built this was the first year that we had this here. So pretty much every deer we've shot, other than maybe a couple where we couldn't find the broadheads, we go ahead after the kill, tack it into the board, put your initials by the broadhead and the year that you killed. We got a shed antler up here. This is actually one Dylan found out here when we were checking cameras one time. Below that, we have the Vortex light. Vortex was kind enough to give us this light, and it has turned into our party light. So somebody kills a deer, buck light goes on, otherwise it stays off. So right now, we don't have a deer in camp, so it's staying off. Moving this way. This is our success in North Dakota over the last, Mike and I killed our first deer out here in 2012. And it's 2022 now, so this is our 10th or 11th year. And we got a few more to add here yet today from early season. You know, Hunter killed a buck, Jim killed a buck, Mike killed a buck, JP killed a buck. So we got 4 more to add here yet, but it's just been unbelievable success. North Dakota's, I can't stress enough how much of a team effort it is out here for us to do what we do. A lot of miles. I mean, almost all of us are driving 8 to 10, some even 11 hours just to get here. And to hunt that far away from home, it is a group effort. Everybody puts in the time and the effort, and it's just an awesome, it's awesome to get everybody together. Yes, it's tight space, but I feel like that's what makes it so fun. And then moving around, up top here is kind of our storage. This is where we keep all of our, we try to eat out of paper plates. We don't want to do dishes. So we got paper plates, plastic silverware, you know, freezer bags, stuff to wrap meat in, steak knives, whatever. Probably the most important thing in the entire place is this pizza oven, which was also a wedding gift. I think Dylan got like 3 pizza ovens for his wedding, and he brought this one out here for us, and it has cooked a shit pile of pizzas. Right here is the count since we built this place. So that's 100, 200, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. 255 pizzas have been consumed in this place since 2017. And that's might not seem like a lot, but we're only here for, you know, maybe a couple weeks in September and a few weeks in December. So you run the numbers, it's not healthy how much pizza we eat, but we eat a lot of Jack's Pizza. It is like the go-to meal out here, and I have no regrets. So down here we got a fridge. This is our second fridge in 5 years. How many years? I don't even know how many years we've been out here. 17, 5 years. Okay, so 5 years, this is our second fridge. Our first one still works, but we wanted another freezer, mostly for pizzas. So we went ahead and got this guy up here. We just got your standard Black & Decker coffee every morning. That thing's getting filled up, and it's go time. Moving over here, this is kind of where we store chips, snacks, buns, stuff like that. Try to keep that all in this corner, stay organized. When you're in a tight space like this, organization's key, especially when you get several guys in here and a bunch of gear. Going up here, this is what we call the poop shelf. And I don't really know how this began. I think early on when Mike and I were hunting in North Dakota, we killed a buck one night and ended up in a gas station, and Mike ended up buying a cheap bottle of blackberry brandy, and it kind of became tradition to drink some sort of shitty liquor when somebody killed a deer. So every year, or every time somebody kills a buck, we pass around what we call the poop. And if the bottle gets finished, whoever killed a buck that night has to replace the bottle. The newest bottle is Captain Morgan Sliced Apple. Compliments of Jimbo, who killed one here a couple weeks ago. And you never know how long a bottle's going to live. JP shot, or who shot this? JP ended last year. He had the last buck of 2021. And so he had to buy a bottle to start this year. Well, Hunter and Jimbo killed back-to-back nights, and we literally drank the whole bottle in 2 nights. So Jimbo had to buy. This is what's on tap until it's gone. Moving this way, we got our window AC unit. It's off right now, but we'll probably turn it on here when we're done shooting the video. It does get warm in here early season, so it's nice to be able to throw the window unit up there. It cools this place off. A little bit warmer in the loft, but it definitely cools it down to where you can sleep. Above that, we've got a Carta map. This kind of just lays out. I mean, you're looking at a huge area right here, but it kind of just gives us another visual of where the spots are that we're hunting, and kind of keeps us all on track. Down here, we've got a pull-out couch. I think I got this from my brother or somebody. Rarely do we pull it out, since we do have 4 sleeping beds up in the loft that we'll show you. But if needed, this thing does pull out. You can sleep another guy, even 2 on this thing. So it's pretty clutch. I guess before we go upstairs, we got one more piece over in this corner. Dartboard. We've kind of been slacking this year. Last year and years prior, it'd be pretty normal for JP and I to play 30 to 40 games of darts in a week. But we haven't played a game all year, which is kind of weird. We might have to change that this week. But anyway, we got the dartboard. Obviously, it's a steel tip board, manual scoreboard, just right in as you go. And down here, I guess, we got charcoal. We do have a charcoal grill. We've also got a gas grill if we don't want to wait for the charcoal. And anything I'm missing downstairs?
I think you covered it.
All right, well, JP's going to head her up this ladder. I'm going to head her up that ladder, and we'll show you guys the loft. So this is the loft. There's 2 ladders coming up into it. The 2 beds over towards JP are accessed by his ladder. The 2 beds on this side are accessed by my ladder. We've got pull string lights up here so you can kind of see what you're doing in the dark. My bed's here, JP's on the other end, Mike's here, and then this is kind of community bed right now. But like I said, it stays nice and comfortable up here. Get a great night's sleep. And I guess we should talk about the handrails. These were kind of added at a later date. We slept on these beds for a few years without issue, and then one night we had a guy fall out in his sleep, rolled over in his sleep, landed on the floor down below, and shortly after we put the safety rails up. So if you're thinking about making a loft, I highly suggest the sleeping rails, just because you never know what you're going to do in your sleep, and would hate to see somebody fall out and get hurt. Well, that pretty much concludes the tour of our Camp Dinkota here in North Dakota. Like I said, we're on our 5th year staying in this place, and I mean, we can't ask for anything else. Before that, we were either sleeping in tents or sleeping in our vehicles or getting cheap motels. This thing has just been a blessing for us. Just an absolute blessing that these landowners let us park it here, and it's just been great for camp camaraderie. And, you know, just being able to axe that expense of having to get hotels or motels or the inconvenience of camping or whatever. So if you guys have anything like this, please share your ideas with us in the comments. Always looking to improve on stuff like this if we build these anywhere else. We did this for fairly cheap, and it's far and away paid for itself already. And so yeah, we appreciate you guys following along on the semi-live. I know there's been several people asking about this place, so we wanted to do a run-through. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Drop in the comments if there's anything you think that we should add to it, or any ideas how we can even better our use of space in this place. So again, thanks for following along on the semi-live, and we look forward to you guys keeping up with us for the rest of the season.